Okay, I jumped forward a little bit because I've been getting sort of antsy to get these things finished. 2 coats of white paint on this one. 2 coats of white paint on that one. But I had to finish the glue up on my feet, so I haven't painted the feet yet. Paint turned out pretty nice. I don't know if you can see it here, but there are some imperfections in the sanding. Not anything that you'll notice. I notice it now, but I'm not worried about it. Looks pretty good. 1 coat of poly on the tops. I want to put 1 more coat of poly on there, but the poly really made these look really nice. It's a satin finish poly. I also wired up my speakers with the terminals. Those are ready to go, but there are a few more things I need to do. I got to paint my fronts, and I got to attach my knob hardware. It's been kind of weird attaching the knob hardware because the screws are long enough on the knobs, well, they're pulls. The screws are long enough to go through a drawer front, which these aren't that thick. And normally you access the hardware on the back of a drawer front, and these need to be embedded between the 2 pieces of wood. So I haven't figured out if I'm gonna drill a hole or if I'm gonna try to recess it down by cutting the screws to length. I'm gonna work that out now and I'll let you know what I came up with. All right, so I took a spade bit and I just made a little recess for the head of the screw. That'll work great. I need to make this one just a little deeper. And I'm just gonna cut these screws to length. I could, optionally get the right length screw from the hardware store possibly, but it's closed on Sunday and I want to get this done. So I'm just gonna cut it to length with a cutoff wheel. Yep, that process worked out really, really nice. So that's what we're gonna go with for the rest of them. I also wanted to mention that there's the possibility I might want to change the hardware in the future. I doubt it, but I'm going to screw these on rather than glue them, partially because I've already got paint on the box, but also, like I said, I might want to change the hardware at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bead of silicone around the back of those, and then I'm going to screw them in from the back. That should secure them nicely, keep them from rattling, and it'll allow me to get them off in the future. If I would glue them, they'd be permanently fixed, but with some silicone, I'd be able to pry it off if I needed to. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, we're making good progress. So I jumped forward a little bit from my last video, but I took a couple pictures I threw in there. I got the fronts on. What I did here, hopefully it's good enough, was I put a bead of silicone around on the inside, right between the pieces, and then I screwed it in from the back, which is fun because my drill doesn't fit real well between the bracing and the wall, but we got it done. Yeah, I showed you what I did with the screws for the handles. I also put a little dab of silicone on the back on the screw heads just to make sure no air could leak through the screw holes. I fit the countertops. This one is squeezed together right now because I'm trying to close a gap on the front a little bit. So I'm gonna put a bunch of screws on the inside to hold it in place. I'm doing screws at the front and the back of the countertop, and you can see it there. So I've got 1 screw in each board on each end. That's just to prevent it from slipping or splitting. I don't think it'll be a problem, but better safe than sorry. Now I can always pull these screws out if I want to change the countertop later on. So I did that because I'm not super happy with the way these turned out. Incidentally, I figured out what I did wrong when I made these countertops. When I ran them through my saw, I put the scrap end between the fence and the blade instead of the piece that I wanted true. So when I got to the ends of them, they came out a little bit, and the boards are not completely square from end to end. I should have put the piece I wanted, the finished piece, between the fence and the blade. That makes sure that it's square and true. That was a dumb mistake. I was in a hurry, and that's what I get for that. On this one, I started installing accessories. The countertop on this one is all attached. You can see the screw holes. I got my ports installed on this one, and I've got my binding posts with my that's soldered on there, and then these two will connect to the speaker. I got a couple old pillows. I'm going to take the polyfill out of those and use them on the inside here. And we're getting real close to finished here. So I will show you one more video clip to show you the final result. One thing I forgot to mention, I am using model testers plastic cement for assembling the ports, and I am putting a bead of silicone around the portholes.